Recording. I'm gonna hold my mic.
You're gonna hold it. You hold it.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Fun day Friday.
What are we doing here?
I'm being pressured into a podcast.
Where's your mic?
It's in there. It's in there. It's tucked away. We don't need to know where the mic is. We just need to know that it works. We just need to, yeah. Fun day Friday. This is not
Friday
fun
day.
Friday fun day. Yeah, so far today I've been turned into a makeup artist, which I am not. And now I'm being turned into a podcaster. It's maybe
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
boo. This is maybe this is Friday try new career options. maybe I was
I would call this a branch.
a branch, career branch.
But tell us about the tree trunk.
The tree trunk. I thought I had a career. The tree trunk. No, I do have a career. I work as, it's a thing. If you ask me what modality it is, I work in shamanics. I'm Reiki master, do cranial sacral, soul retrieval, trauma support, all those things. But I think the nutshell for that is I'm a holistic energy health practitioner. I think that's an understandable statement.
Very much so.
That gives into peer pressure for social media. Creating content, not my favorite thing. I've also been asked to do podcasts or write books. Well, I'm not writing today, so podcast it is.
I think it's a beautiful thing. Social media is a lot of things. But the one thing that I can say that in this field or area of social media, I think it's a wonderful thing because because before it wasn't so easy to reach more people. It was either it costed a lot of money or you just really hope that people talked more about what you do. And here is an opportunity for you to reach more people. And I think the way it works, sorry, is it okay if it's very cliche. When it'll happen, it'll happen. And you'll fall onto someone's feed or you'll appear on someone's feed right at the right time.
That's been my approach. I think the internet in general is a double-edged sword, and I think social media is a double-edged sword because I look at it from like the recipient side point is you have access to so much information and insight and knowledge, and the problem is not all the knowledge is truthful, accurate, beneficial, healthy, supportive, necessary. And I think it can leave you incomplete. So, we've seen this trend for the last few years. And for the record, this isn't where my career started. This is not where my career started. But as I have been doing this for close to 20 years now, wow. Tell me you're old without saying you're old. Close to 20 years, I've seen ebbs and flows. And I think when I was first doing this, there was a small group of people sort of like looking to change their lives or heal their lives or deal with trauma or lack of confidence or health issues that they just weren't able to get answers anywhere else. Whereas now it's a multi-million-dollar industry, and I don't think it should be. Yes, let the earthquake simmer as every self-help practitioner out there is like, what? That's our bread and butter. But yeah, that is a what, why, when,
Where,
where,
how.
That's what I get a lot. Those are the questions of my day. But a lot of times I have clients come to me and like they're like, oh, I did this book and I read that book and this person and that person, and I'm like, yeah, I heard them all. And then I go to the space of put the self-help books down. That's your homework. put them down
That's a
because
very interesting concept.
yeah, most people are really surprised. Most people are really surprised. They're like, I'm coming to you for self help, and you're telling me not to do self help. Here's why I say put the self help book down. It's not that there's no benefit to it. I mean, I definitely part of part of my job as a shaman is to provide healing and healing outcomes. But the other element of it is if I can only see you once every 2 weeks or once a month or once every 3 months, I want to pass on tools that you can use in between visits. And my goal is with everybody that I see in my clinic that you don't need me, that I'm giving you tools or I'm giving you the information or the power to be able to master it yourself. So I have books that I do recommend. I do have self books that I think are good reads or good recommendations. But you can get lost in reading books and doing all the assignments in the books and all the self help and going through this checklist of, okay, I did this.
Why am I not happy? Or why do I
Exactly.
still have this problem? Is
Exactly.
there something wrong with me?
Exactly.
Am I broken?
Yeah, I'm beyond hope. I'm beyond help, and
Yeah.
and that's not self help. That's
No.
self sabotage, self
Self
criticism,
destruction.
self destruction. And it's not that these books aren't good, and it's not that there isn't valuable information in it. What it is that's somebody's approach that worked for them, and it doesn't necessarily work for you. So the advice I give, I was asked years ago, what is the best advice you could give a new mom? And I think this advice goes to anybody in a job, in a parent role, into a partner role, into self help role. Hear advice out. And if it resonates with you, is like, yes, I feel like that is something that I could naturally do, I want to do, I'm excited about doing, that advice is for you. If you're trying to calculate how to fit this in and it's uncomfortable, it's not meant for you. Let it go. Let it go.
So that's how you would identify resonance then in your own body or
Yeah,
existence.
you're everybody's smart, everybody has intuition, and when something resonates with you, it's a yes feeling. It's a I like that. Your brain opens up to it. And when it's a no feeling, there's sort of like this weight behind it, or okay, where am I going to find the 30 minutes to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Versus I want to find 30 minutes to do this. I'm willing to give something up to do this.
Almost kind of awakens a willpower.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a way to put it. That's an option. Yeah.
So what
That's
self-help books do you typically like to recommend when it's the right time to recommend them?
so it really depends on the person, what they're dealing with. But I think any book that is not seeking to change you, that's sort of criteria number one. um, you you don't need to be fixed. You need to unload yourself from the beliefs or the patterns and the choices that are holding you back. You're not wrong. You're carrying hurt or misconceptions, misperceptions of yourself and or others or your interactions. So books that help you understand how and why you think the way you do based off of the experiences you have. I think that's usually my goal. And also books that really help you easily and simplistically have conversations with yourself or focus on yourself.
Or digest the information?
Digesting the information, sure. Yeah, but definitely any sort of book that sort of just really goes into it's okay that you think this way. These are maybe some of the contributing reasons so that you can have that conversation with yourself. The conversation you have with yourself, um, you know, I actually said this to a client the other day. It was like, I was raised talking to myself all the time. And, when I was talking to myself, I was told, stop talking to yourself. It's the first sign of madness. And it's in actuality the first sign of, I think, groundedness and sanity. Because if you think of any relationship you have with anybody, you talk, you engage, you ask questions, when you have a friend or a partner, and they
Yeah.
walk in and they slumped down, you don't just ignore them and turn, well, maybe you do ignore them, and that's probably not a great thing, but um you talk. You'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, you're looking not yourself right now, or you seem super excited. What happened? Share with me the news. And that develops deep relationships and connection. If you are never having that conversation with yourself, or you know sort of asking yourself, really lately you've lost your appetite, and you're lacking motivation, what's going on? How do you fix what you don't know? And if you're not having the conversation, how how do you know? How do you know? So yeah, I like to say talking to yourself is the first sign of sanity, groundedness, awareness. Yeah. So books that make it easy. And sometimes, my homework that I give to clients is super simple. Go color in. Go, if you enjoyed baking as a kid, if you enjoyed going for walks as a kid, if you enjoyed coloring in as a kid, like, go and do something that brought you joy as a kid. Because if it brought you joy in your early years of life, it's something that we can almost guarantee resonates with you, and it's going to be something that your sense of self, your soul, your essence is going to feel like, okay, I'm checking in with me. Like that I think is, I know when I've been asked, what is the most serious situation or condition or issue that I've ever seen, and I think globally, a disconnectedness from one's self is the most serious, because when you're disconnected from yourself, trying to make decisions, trying to move forward, trying to connect with others, it's just not possible. So then you end up filling your life with all sorts of other stuff, whether it be shopping, whether it be an addiction, whether it be compulsive dating, whether it be isolation or self-sabotage, or whatever. You're seeking to fill that gap, and the only place to fill it is with yourself.
So, what is your role as a shaman to help a person reconnect with themselves again?
Yeah, I mean, typically I enable you to see your authentic self. That's one of my roles. But the other big part of that is, the reality is, everybody's heard the statement, love yourself, be kind to yourself, treat yourself well. What we don't all know is, what does that look like? Because we
What does that
know,
even mean?
yeah,
Remember how
what,
long it took me?
yeah,
What?
yeah,
I thought I was.
yeah.
And
And I think you were even one of those people that were like, I go and get my nails done. I get my nails done. I get my hair done. You know,
mm-hmm.
I buy myself coffee, and sure, and this is a great reason why I say put down the self help book. Because a lot of self help books would do that. They give you instructions. Go and do this,
It's
but
a very cookie almost cutter, right?
it
Approach.
can be. And I mean, you've done self help books. I think you did a lot prior to working with me. You did quite a few, and you weren't finding that sense of peace.
No,
Yeah.
no, definitely not.
Um,
I think it came in blips, but it felt so temporary that it was like it came and went very quickly.
mm,
But
and then
it all makes sense now in hindsight. But
yeah,
we'll get more into
you
that.
you felt that nervousness too, that it was like, as soon as you got it, it was slipping away. Yeah, so self love is essentially allowing yourself to say yes to yourself and make yourself a matter of importance and value. So getting your nails done, buying yourself coffee, yes, that is giving to yourself. How does that make you feel? And look, if having your nails done just makes you love your hands, and you want to do things with your hands, and you want to be creative, and it just really engages you physically, get your nails done. But if getting your nails done, you're like, oh, that's pretty, that's not an act of self-love. That's just a task. That's just I did that, yay. So we are taught how to love others, I think, throughout, and it's changing in generations. I think it is
Oh yeah.
changing. But we are taught how to love others, and typically how we taught how to love others is service. That's a big one, right? Being in service of others. That's how we love others. Showing up for others, doing what others want or need of us. Yeah.
Sometimes at the cost of.
Of, well, you can definitely speak to that because you have experience with that, right?
Hmm. I guess when guilt and shame kicks in, it's a slippery slope.
That
It's just
you,
like, okay.
yeah, you just go downhill. And in truth, love is a sense of nurture, acceptance, and care. So you can love, nurture, and care for somebody, but not necessarily do everything the way they do it or agree with everything that they say. It's just, I love you for who you are. And it doesn't have ownership and control. I think a lot of times love historically and even currently has that sense of ownership and control, that that possessiveness of that. I love it. It's mine. Yeah.
Yeah. I think love is supposed to actually feel very liberating and free,
Yep.
free from the shackles of self doubt and everything else. But you just feel like you can be yourself. You can show up in a space, be
Mm-hmm.
yourself completely, entirely, and not wonder like, oh, what's this person thinking of me, or will they love me after accidentally letting a toot slip? I don't know. Like just
Yeah. Something like that. And also, am I that space for others? And you'll know you've hit the self love mark when you are that space for others, because when you love yourself, you're secure enough in yourself that you're not in a comparative role, or you're not in a evaluating role. You're
mm-hmm.
in a role of, this is who I am. I accept myself. I'm good with myself. And just important side note, loving yourself doesn't mean that you are devoid of any faults or flaws. It's seeing that you're not meant to be perfect, and those faults and flaws are unique parts of yourself, and it's not that you lean into them, it's that you accept that that's the human element of you. Because I think that holds people back from that self-love is, I can love myself until I make a mistake. And no, if you love yourself, you will love yourself regardless of whether you've made a mistake.
And so, what does it look like? What should the conversation sound like with yourself when you do make a mistake? When you're sort of in that
One of the things
space.
I like using, because the human experience, we each are having a human experience. The human experience by design is meant to be imperfect, is meant to be experiencing both really good positive experiences as well as negative ones. So when you have a negative experience, it's the classroom of life. It's just like, I aced being a human today. I aced it. I really achieved being a human today. I fell flat on my face several times over. I said the wrong thing. I stuck my foot in my mouth. I really immersed myself in that physical, dense, heavy, ugh, feeling. And now I'm going to give myself permission to come out of it. Like, I don't have to unpack my bags and be in it. So I think that's the quickest way to just sort of lighten it up, is like, okay, like, I aced that class. Think of, like, in high school, what was your least favorite subject? It's just like, okay, I aced the class. And two, I would say, master the conversation in the back of your head. There's always two conversations going on. The one that you're having out loud and the one in the back of your head. You're always forming that thought or that self criticism or the next question to ask, or whatever. But master it. When you're having those moments where you have flaws, you have something about yourself. Have that conversation. Does this really define me? Is that the only attribute there is about me? And does this truly make me a very horrible person? And sometimes that answer is going to be yes. Maybe not a justified yes, but when you're in a moment of self-criticism, everything's negative. And go to proof and evidence. Like,
Mm-hmm.
proof and evidence. I I heard a friend today. Does that erase all the good things I did with that friend? Does it erase all the good things that I've done? And when you've kind of broken it down with the proof and evidence, then forgive yourself, because there's always forgiving yourself is releasing the emotion. It's not about taking blame or assigning blame or saying anything's okay. It's owning, how did I show up in that situation? How is it still holding on to me? And I forgive myself for being in this moment of being reactive or not understanding, or I didn't pick up the phone and they really needed me to pick up the phone. And allowing yourself to say, had I known the magnitude or had I known the impact, would I have made the same choice? Probably not.
Mm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think in a nutshell, put the self-help book down and start the conversation with self. I guess that's essentially what yeah, that's where we're going to start this. Put the self-help book down and start having really honest conversation with yourself. And honest conversations aren't always beautiful, supportive, friendly, but if you can trust yourself in that moment, and the likelihood is you're not trusting yourself if you're looking for self-help, but just trust that you can you can get to a better place with yourself, and yeah, ask for that proof and evidence. And whatever doesn't sit well, I do this a lot with trauma clients. Clients moving past trauma is, I forgive myself for being hurt. If I had another option, or had I known I was going to get hurt, I would have made a different choice. Or I forgive a parent for not knowing how to love me because they weren't shown love. And it's always making sure when you say that, it's not assigning blame, and it's not assigning self-criticism. And it's like, I forgive my parent for not knowing how to show love. So it's not about they didn't love me, it's about they didn't have the tool. Or you know I
Awareness or
yeah, awareness. Or yeah, self forgiveness goes a long way in that conversation with yourself, and realizing truths. you know there's there's habits, like your parents in school all teach you how to behave, how to think, what to do. And then we're not told that, hey, when you're an adult, you get to hit the pause button for for a hot minute and decide for yourself, is this really what I want? Is this really what I want to believe? Does this really work? Do I really agree with these notions? Is this the faith that I want? Is this the cultural beliefs that I want? Is this the lifestyle that I want? um
it's actually very ironic though, because when you're a kid, you're told, like you said, you're told
yeah.
everything. But then when you become an adult, they're like, well, you're an adult now. You
Yeah,
need to
don't you
decide for
know?
yourself, don't you know? And you're like,
I'm swimming into a sea of the scary abyss. Yes.
you're an adult now. You got to figure it out. What happened?
Yeah,
You
you
were you
like
were
my
just
whole
telling
life was
me.
controlled. Like you told me what to wear, what time to go to bed, what subjects to take, pick my career path. Yeah, that's it. And just, yeah, put the self-help book down and start the conversation. And wherever that conversation leads you, if you have a shaman or a practitioner, or Reiki practitioner, or a really good therapist, psychologist, um, take those questions, take that conversation into your sessions, because that's where you're going to find the deep, quick shift in a person's psyche, emotional state, physical space. Yeah.
Do you have any recommendations on how to start those conversations for someone doing that? Like, one, hearing this concept for the first time, two, turning this podcast off and then trying to go
Turn the podcast off.
and trying to go and
I
try
always
to do
say I
it.
say start simplistic and small, realistically, because
Don't
you
bite off more than you can chew, kind of thing.
don't. Well, humans do that, like I want to lose weight, so this week I'm going to aim to lose 10 pounds. Like, is 10 pounds in a week realistic?
Or healthy.
Right. Probably not. But if you haven't had a conversation with yourself in a long time, you haven't heard your own inner voice in a long time, expecting to have like this extravagant dialogue right out the gate is probably not realistic. So you want your brain, because you know you've got your right hemisphere, your left hemisphere, and your right hemisphere is very creative. And you know it's so important because the more creative you are, the better you are at problem solving, because you're thinking outside of the box and you're thinking of innovation. And what happens is the left brain is the deductive investigator. You know, the left brain is always like, I have a piece of paper that says this, therefore I'm gonna roll with it, and I'm gonna fact check it, and whatever else. The problem is your brain also just believes what you tell it sometimes, and it will go. Your brain is your biggest cheerleader or your worst enemy, because if you tell yourself I'm unattractive, your brain is going to
Find all
pull
the
all the
reasons.
people who think you're unattractive, all the nuances, all those little things. But if you tell your brain I unequivocally believe I am, you're going to start, oh, my skin looks good today, or look at my hair, or whatever. But it's about learning how to get that side of your brain flowing with you. So when I say start small, ask yourself, you know, what do I want to wear today? Like what do I actually want to put on today? Because so many times we
Mm.
open our closet, nothing's resonating with us, and we get flustered, and we're just like, I'm just going to put this on. And I know, or
Mm.
we open the drawer, the shirt on the top, that's the one we put on our bodies, or you know, I'm just going to wear what I wore yesterday because it was comfortable, or whatever else. But really taking a moment to be like, what color do I want to wear today? Do I want to wear a color today?
Mm.
And two, we get into the habit of like, how many people, I'm not one of these people, I have a different habit, but drink coffee. Like you can't start your day without coffee. And do I really want coffee today? Or do I want my coffee with a little bit of vanilla in it, or a little bit of hazelnut? Like what do I really want? And if it is the coffee, that's fine. Like don't judge yourself, but just sort of asking yourself like, what what TV show do I really want to watch, and why? Is it
Mm.
because I'm habitually watching the most popular TV show, or you know, is there something I'm curious about? What do I want in this moment? So starting small and then working yourself up to like the big ones. Like, do I really want to be, you know, working as a CEO, or do I really want to be like, let's not start big. Start small when you can learn how to gauge your responses and hear them.
That is a
Yeah.
very, very, very good life hack.
Yeah. Yeah, but definitely, I mean, everybody gets dressed at least a few times a week, I would hope.
I mean, there may be some communities
Yeah,
on this
maybe
planet that
maybe
don't have
not.
that problem.
Yeah. You
You know.
know, if you're part of a nudist colony, what lotion do I want to put on today? You know, hydrate my skin, sunscreen. Which sunscreen do I want to use? But yeah, something simplistic. Start small,
I love it.
and you know, don't look at how long it's going to take you to get there, because so many times when you're looking at how long is it going to take me to feel good, you're telling yourself indirectly it's going to take a long time. Whereas you're like, today I'm going to ask myself this question.
So you're saying take
You
it day by day.
take it day, take it day by day. It's just that thing in the back of your head. Like even just try that for right now. When you say like, oh, how long is this going to take me? That heaviness sets in,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Versus like, I just have to ask myself this one question, or I'm just going to ask myself this one question, and when I feel like asking another one, I'm going to ask another one, and then looking back 2 months from now, going, oh, yeah, there's progress. Yeah,
So you're just
yeah.
gonna take the small steps first.
Small steps first. Yeah. You know, you can climb a mountain, you can climb a flight of stairs, you can walk a kilometer, but unless you take a bunch of little steps, you're not getting there. You can't ever do it in one big giant leap.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, in a nutshell, put the self help book down.
And start the conversation with yourself. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
That
welcome.
was awesome.
Thank you.
Am I supposed to say tune in till next time?
Tune in. I don't know if and when there will be a next time. Probably a when. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. To be determined. There's more that.
TBD.
Yeah. Who, what, when, why. Yes. Who, what, when, why.
Who, what, where, when, why.
Who, what, where, when, why. But yes, this was peer pressure road a day. Fun Friday. Thanks for sharing it.
Well, I'll speak on behalf of myself. I appreciate all the insight you have given me in the last 6 years. And I think it's time that people have access to some
It's
of this
time.
insight. And
It's time, Simba. Yeah. We like Lion
to
King.
all
It's
my
time.
90s babies,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's time.
I think what I would just like to mention is that when it comes to the self-help book part,
Mm.
there is a difference when you are doing the work and you're trying to do it through a
Mm.
book than when you're working with someone like Rhoda, because it is the most personalized experience you will ever receive.
Mm-hmm.
Where like books are there, books are helpful, but I think like I just want to bring it back to sort of
Yeah,
the,
I
the
mean,
main
it's not
point
that,
here for
yeah, self-help books aren't bad. It's is it helping you to understand yourself in depth, and some of them can do that. But if you're just reading the pages and hoping to go through it without really knowing how to release the emotions or release the trauma or release the belief, they're not as effective as what they are intended to be, and certainly the creators are hoping they will be.
and that's something that Rhoda is capable of.
Yeah, I help
This is
bridge that gap. Yeah, yeah. What does it mean to you, or give you that help to let it go? Give it, because sometimes there's just, it's not for lack of trying. Sometimes it just does take somebody to go in and sort of manipulate the energy a little bit so that it can flow and release for you.
whew, can't wait to get into that one next time.
How does this work? Energy flow. Yes.
All right.
That's
Peace.
a very that was a 90s thing.
Yeah,
We
I just
we
love
did we
it.
did this in the
And
90s.
I
Living
did this.
this,
Now
yes.
it's all
Now
the
it went from this to, I think, to this,
I
which
think
I don't mind this one actually.
yeah, it's
That
not
that
bad.
that that looks very heart like. To now
I still
it's
like this
what's
better.
it now?
Well, there's like
There's is it a cross? I think
yeah,
it's
you just
this.
make
I
a
think
little
it's
cross
this.
because it's like a heart
I think it's yeah.
with
Yeah,
the fingers.
we'll make a whole heart. We whole heart you.
Bye, y'all.